make no mistake, there will be a trial, and when that trial ends, senators will have to decide if they believe Donald John Trump incited the insurrection against the United States.
Well, he certainly incited something like that among his supporters, particularly on that day, I guess. Hey, everybody, welcome. Happy Friday. It's Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire on this Friday afternoon. And wow, I'll tell you what, it's weird coming in Friday and not opening with that Freaky Friday song parody by Little Dicky that I've been playing at the beginning of every Friday show for the past, well, not quite 4 years because we haven't been here at WMNH. It'll be 4 years in April that we'll have been here at WMNH every Friday afternoon, but it had become an unofficial tradition on the show to open with that specific song on Friday, but it just doesn't seem quite as relevant now that Mr. Trump has been deposed, and I don't mean as in a deposition. I mean deposed to Mar-a-Lago, where he is not allowed to live legally, apparently. But that'll all get worked out, I'm sure. He'll file some lawsuits or whatever. I'm sure Rudy Giuliani is on the case. Not that he intends to actually pay Rudy Giuliani, apparently. But so welcome, everyone, on this Friday afternoon. It is a Friday, January 22nd, 2021, and we are live, of course, from the studios of WMNH 95.3 in Manchester, New Hampshire, as well as Comcast 97 if you happen to be in Manchester, streaming worldwide at WMNHradio.org, and of course also you can get that at mattconnarton.com, as well as all the contact info for the show if you'd like to do it that way. And of course we are live on the Facebook, on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. And we have our first call of today's show already. An eager beaver. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, it's Eazy-G.
Eazy-G.
Make a quick phone call.
A quick
I'm waiting
one.
for an important phone call from one of my doctors. So it won't be a 20-minute conversation today.
Okay, we're going to keep it to a tight 18 minutes. Go.
Right. Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to Texas Mike. Gave me a gave a donation for the Relay for Life American Cancer Society for $25.
Very nice.
So
very
my
nice.
total now is $1,103.
How much? What's the total again?
$1,103.
Fantastic.
The grand total as of a few minutes ago.
Good for you, Eric. Good for you. You are awesome,
it's
my friend.
unbelievable.
You've done
and I was talking to the
job.
Relay for Life people. Not that I do anything for prizes, but I'm going to get a T-shirt with it. Probably when the relay's over for saying I raised $1,000, a grand T-shirt. And right now I got 1,043 points, and I looked at the prize package, and I'm shooting for that 3,000 mark. As I didn't think they existed anymore, but maybe they do for the relay. It's a special Polaroid Instamatic camera.
Oh, wow, I didn't know. What are we?
Yeah, you got to collect $3,000 to get it.
I didn't know they made those anymore. Well,
I think they made it just for the relay. It's a special package, for the Relay for Life people.
I'm kidding. Actually, of course, they do still make cameras, of course, because professional photographers, like the real pros.
Right, but I haven't seen one of those in 100 years.
A professional photographer? Well, we don't,
No, but a Polaroid Instamatic camera. It looks like a really nice one.
So I was going to say, if you look in the yellow pages. Oh, wait, we don't have yellow pages anymore, I don't think. Anyway, but yes, that's very exciting, Eazy-G. Very, very exciting.
I may have done a lot of stupid things in my life, but this is probably one of the best things I've ever done ever.
It is.
I can't think of anything better I've ever done.
I literally cannot either. No, it is fantastic, Eric. In all seriousness, good for you, man. I'm very,
I want to be the top fundraiser in America, so I'm all on my way. I figure every day I wake up, I like to get a donation from somebody, and if I don't, I'm getting a little bummed. So.
When you're the top fundraiser, they give you 2 cameras. No, but I, in all seriousness, I want to say this. I'm very, very proud of you, and we all are. I think I
can't
speak
believe
for
it.
everyone.
Like I said last year, I said that lady raised $4,000 just about doing the same thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
Getting a hold of everyone. I'm doing it a new way too. Is I'm doing everything virtually this year because you really can't come in contact with a lot of people because of the age of COVID.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So like I said, I give all the love out to my good pal Laura Gilman, who set this app up even January 5th, and it's really taken off like a rocket.
Did she? Now you just need her to help you set it up on your tablet.
Oh yeah, well when I go to the store on Monday, there I'll definitely get the guy to help me because he's the wizard behind all that technology. Because I'm in a lot of trouble with my phone. But anyways, I'm gonna let you go because I'm waiting for an important phone call. So.
All right.
Have a great weekend.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Eazy-G, you too, my friend. Bye-bye. All right, the great Eazy-G, Eric Gagnon. And, we like to break balls around here, but it's all done with love and affection, as you know. I hope you all know that if you're a regular listener. But, but I mean it. I am very, very proud of Eazy-G, Eric Gagnon. He's done wonderfully with this, raising money for the Relay for Life for the American Cancer Society. And he's done, what did he say, 1,000? He's broken 1,100. We'll just round it because I'm bad at math anyway. So he's done he's raised about $1,100, and it sounds like he's going to keep going, and he's very motivated to do this. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. So good for you, Eric. We are very proud of you. We love you. And congratulations on that. It's for a wonderful cause. And it's cool too. I mean, perhaps a bit selfishly, it makes me feel good to see people being generous in these difficult times, because I don't know if you all have noticed, but I've gotten a little bit cynical over the past year. So it does my heart good to see, someone committing to this the way Eric has, and then people being so generous and giving to the cause that he's raising money for. I think it's absolutely stellar. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt, it's Stacie Laughton down in Nashua.
Stacie Laughton down in Nashua. How are you?
I am doing blessed. I can't complain, man.
You're doing blessed.
Life is good.
Well, good.
Yes.
Good.
So I did want to, first before I start, give a big shout-out to our mutual friend here, Eazy-G. He's been keeping us all posted in private chat with his totals for the relay, and I'm so proud of him. That's something, again, like I like to do stuff like that. I never seem to raise that much, so big shout out and props to Eazy-G for raising so far over $1,000. That is amazing, and I it's just and Eazy-G has a really big heart, good guy.
He does.
He's had some situations and whatnot, but deep down inside, Eazy-G's a good guy.
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't even say deep down inside. I think it's on the surface. I think he wears it on his sleeve. No, that's we love him. We tease him a lot, but we got him on the spot. No, but we do love Eazy-G. Absolutely.
Right. So I do have to shift gears a little bit, and it's going to get a little scandalous.
I like a good scandal, to be honest with you. I'm just going to put that out there. I like a scandal.
I do know that. However, you might be a little bored with it, because I know I am a little bored with it. But no, we have to revisit the DJ Lady Stace great scandal of 2020.
Yes,
because I have to say, since then, it seems like, as you always say, you have a very active chat.
Yes,
and I've seen this also on the morning show with our good friend Peter White there, and
yes, many of the same people. Yes,
exactly, a lot of the same people, and that's what I'm going to bring to you is last year when that had all happened with me, where my Facebook and my Google accounts were hacked and pictures were stolen. I don't know exactly who received what, but I do know this. for all those that did receive them, and I'm going to say this because there's one person in particular who I feel received the pictures, yet didn't say she received them, but yet has treated me so foully.
Oh.
I don't know what people received.
Uh-huh.
I do have a general idea of what was said along with what was sent. And look, everybody knows that someone like me is not somebody who's going to send, nude pictures to anybody. That's one. To anybody of any age, whether it's illegal age or of adult age, it's just not going to happen.
Uh-huh.
And when I came to your show last year, I still love your show and everything. So I liked the idea that there was people in the live chat and they were engaging and they were interested in who I was and whatnot, and everything seemed good and kosher.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like I said, like Tony D has said, it's like the folks in there will eat up glass and spit out bumblebees or hornets.
I think he just says bees. They chew glass and spit bees. Yes.
Yes, spit out bees.
It's a Philly.
I kind of
it's a Philly thing.
Spin on it, but a Philly thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had brought up Abigail Gem the other day, and she had been quite foul to me, and I don't know what, if anything, maybe she received things, but I've never done anything to her directly, and I've never done anything to anyone directly because that's not my nature. So, and I know we're revisiting this, but it's been going on, though I put an end to it on the morning show at the end of last year, the beginning of December. It seems like in the live chats, the harsh feelings of it continue to linger. And, look, for what people know of me, they know I'm a good person. So, mistakes happen. Maybe I should have been a little tighter with passwords and security then, and I've tightened up quite a bit more since then on the great advice of Texas Mike.
Yes.
And so, I have changed all passwords, frequently changed passwords now, which is something he recommended.
That's
and
smart.
I'm also, not just accepting any and all friend requests anymore. I'm looking into them a little more and to see if I do know the person, because if I don't know the person, I'm not accepting the friend request because I'm not going to open a can of worms that I can't control,
Right, yes. Though they may be virtual worms.
Right, it could be. But those virtual worms can turn into a pretty nasty mix because
yes.
The virtual worms will then spread their way to people that you believe are friends or believe are political friends or whomever they might be, and then it destroys things. So you just got to be careful because those it's like a virus, if you will. But
mm-hmm.
So I mean I'm not. Yes, I called out a few people. There was some incidents last year, and while I actually have the air, I want to specifically apologize to one specific individual who is also part of the WMNH family.
Oh, very nice.
I don't know what he received or whatnot, but Robert Dion, he I believe received something. He was very upset. And maybe his response was a little too much, but maybe he felt that's what he needed to respond with. I just want to directly apologize directly to him because outside of this situation, I've listened to him on the morning show.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to his show, and I've aired his show, and he's a great guy.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Great part of the WMNH family. And so for what it's worth, I want to apologize to him and even maybe to Abigail and Bobby Champagne and anyone who, like I said, I don't know what was received.
Mm-hmm.
Really don't care at this point because it was last year. And it's just what I say is don't share it, delete it. And, we need to move on because I thought we moved on in December, but it seems like it continues, and we know why the chats are volatile, and we just kind of comment and like, wow, it's so lively, but it seems to turn out every time that I'm the villain because of what happened. And like, again, for what it's worth, I'm very sorry that all took place, because that's never my intention. You know, I'm a political person and I'm a radio person, which kind of fits perfectly in with your content, Matt. So,
yes,
you know, and I love your show, because
thank you.
It is a great place for you know, politics and community, positive community news. Like, look at Eazy-G. We'll shift back gears to him. I mean, over $1,000. And then, like, the other stuff the radio station does, you know, last year, the Miracle on Elm Street. And, you know, I don't know what's to come, but I do know that WMNH is a great radio station, great content, and a great family of listeners. And the volatility, we really got to tone that down a little and try to get back. Because Robert Dion did say on the morning show once, in a different situation, that the live chats, you know, the people become kind of close, almost like a family, if you will.
Yes.
And then, you know, and that's a good thing. And that's what we need to focus on, that, you know, we are a little radio show family, you know, engaging with an actual radio show family, like you guys up there, that you, Peter White, Robert Dion, was it Rob Esposito, Daryl, Ben, you know, you all are a great family of hosts up there. The listeners are a great group of people. And so I don't want to tie up any more of your time, because this has really gone on longer than even I had even wanted it to. But, you know, just, again, thank you, Matt, for being a great host and coming on every day. And that also goes out to all of the hosts up there for however, some shows are just once a week and some are daily. So just shout out to everyone at WMNH and the family of listeners.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Stacie. I appreciate that. And thank you for the call. Yes,
no problem. You guys have a great day, great rest of the show, and I'll be listening.
All right, Stacie. Thank you. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Stacie Laughton, a New Hampshire state rep from Nashua, calling in. You know, I'll tell you, these scandals, though, they do have a way of just dragging on. And, you know, I mean, just ask our friend Eazy-G. I mean, yes, Eric, you know, he's doing all this great work, but raising all this money, but he's had a scandal or two or seven, of course. The most momentous probably of all of his scandals being Taco Gate. I mean, that went on for what seemed like years. The entire city was engulfed in that terrible scandal, engulfed in sour cream and taco meat as well. I'm getting hungry. Let's see. Oh, speaking of hunger, of course, I want to remind you all of our wonderful sponsor, the Hop Knot, in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street, right across the street. They are open for business, and you should go there, or you can always order ahead and go and get your food for carryout. They have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. It's a wonderful place. By the way, they have these incredible face masks, if you haven't seen them, that you can get. They're only $10. And if you order food there, if you go to pick it up, or if you just walk in and order something for carryout, if you go wearing your Hop Knot face mask, you automatically get $10 off on your order just for walking in with the face mask. So it's almost like, it's almost like a frequent shopper card, except it's in the form of a face mask, which I think is really cool. And it encourages masking, which is a wonderful thing. And they do everything very safely there. The staff is masked at all times. The tables are nice and spread out. Everything is clean and sanitized and so on. And we have another call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, it's Eazy-G real quick. I got a request there, the 5 o'clock hour, if you could play the Eggman, please.
Oh, I would love to. Are you referring to...
Talk about scandals. Oh, my God.
Eggman, produced by the great DJ Midas. I will play that.
Right, but I agree with you. The worst one was Taco Gate. That's the last time I went to see Sarah Broadstreet in town, because they've been closed for a year because of COVID.
That was a terrible,
so I'm afraid to ever go back to that place again. But I will, though.
But you will.
But I won't be bringing up the name of Peter White.
Do you have any?
Goodbye.
All right, goodbye, Eric. I was going to Eric. When Eric decides it's time to hang up, he just hangs up. I was going to ask him if he had any advice for Stacie Laughton and with her ongoing scandal. Because Eric has weathered many of these, including Taco Gate. But I think Eric has redeemed himself. By the way, I did not receive whatever these secret things were that someone sent out regarding Stacie. The only thing I ever get is, I do still have, of course, my manila envelope of secret documents given to me by former presidential candidate Stephen Comley Sr. I keep that under my pillow at night. Very, very important secret documents. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this? When I hear the hoo-ha-ha, I know it's Tony D. I can't do it quite like you do, but it's probably a Philly thing.
I am chewing a fresh pack of mint glass, and I'm going to spit it out with bees.
Yes, well,
yellow jackets today. Maybe killer wasp.
What about
Chinese wasp?
What about hornets? I believe hornets were mentioned.
Yeah, hornets was the new thing. I'm also, if you go to Groupon.com, type in the search box, Tony D. I'm giving out free Speedo picks and a cowboy hat, $10 each.
Wow!
They're for your pleasure. You can do whatever you want with them. I also have them in fanny packs with an Amish hat, $3, and they also come with a WMNH Muscle Eazy-G T-shirt I have that I will be rocking. So there's a whole package on there that I have. So you just go to Groupon, all types of discounts that are on there. It's great.
Wow!
I just put that up there about 3 minutes ago. So.
That's very exciting and, dare I say, arousing. I'm just going to put it out there.
Yeah.
It's Friday, but
I just want to put my own scandal out for 21.
Well, I was going to ask you if you'd had. I mean, you're a media personality, Tony D. Have you had any scandals of your own? And if so, do you have any advice for Stacie Laughton, who just can't seem to escape this terrible scandal that she finds herself mired in, all because of our chat room?
I never really had a scandal. I mean, have you in your media career? Have you ever had one?
I don't think I have. I don't think. I'm trying to think if
I mean, I had an article that I wrote back in like 2010 when I was writing that I misinterpreted what someone said, and it got it got really thrown out of line. It was a sports article that I wrote, and I really jacked up big time, and it got thrown to the wayside, and I caught some flack for it because it actually started trending before trending was a thing.
Yes.
And people were like, "Oh my God, this guy got traded!" And like it was like catching all this heat. And next thing you know, it was like a false article. So that was like before like I was fresh and young.
Yes.
I thought I was cool, but that wasn't really like a scandal. It was just like misinformation by me.
Oh, okay. Right,
so,
right. Well,
that's why I fact check everything now.
They say there's no such thing as bad publicity, although there's a million examples of things that are in fact bad publicity. But yeah.
But no, I wanted to say, Melt-Face Mitch. See what he said today?
No, actually, I did not. I don't think I caught what he said today. No, what did he say?
Well, Melt-Face Mitch said quietly today, "I want Trump gone for good."
Oh, that
CNN broke the news.
Yes,
CNN broke it today. He said quietly.
Yeah,
he's talking to all the GOPs, and he's saying he wants them gone for good. So,
yes.
With that being said, he talked to. Did you hear what Schumer said on the Senate floor today? Instead of he said he said erection instead of
yes.
said erection instead of insurrection or whatever it was.
Wait, I played it at the top of the show, but I'll play it again. Here it is for anyone who missed it.
Make no mistake, there will be a trial, and when that trial ends, senators will have to decide if they believe Donald John Trump incited the insurrection against the United States.
Very good. Now, we won't go any further with that because that's really more for the other show, Matt Connarton Unsheathed. But yes, a little Freudian slip there by Mr. Schumer, Senator Schumer. But he's older. He's gonna have a senior moment now and then. Yeah.
It's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday. That's right. Oh
so
boy.
Here's my thought.
Yes.
Here's my thought. They need the 17 votes from the Republican side.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think they're going to get it? I think they're going to get it, man. I really do. I really think they're going to get it here. I think Mitch is going to make this push. I think they're going to get the 10. I think the other 7 are going to come, and I honestly feel it's going to be more than the 17. I think they're going to get at least 20. What do you think?
I think they should. I don't know if they will, but it's like I was making the case to Jenny early in the week here on the show. If they don't do this, they're going to regret it. This is their
They got to get their party back.
Yes.
If you want your party back, this is what you need to do.
Exactly.
You can't, at the end of the day, left, right, middle, whatever the hell you want to call this, you got to reclaim your party. And this is how you got to reclaim your party, by pushing this guy out and just getting some form of your democracy back and just being done with it.
Right.
It's not about upholding your party. It's about just bringing back what you stand for with your party. Because what he represented is not what you stand for with your party. You cannot tell me that your party stands for what he represented. No way whatsoever. No way.
Right. I mean,
there's no way.
If anything, they were willing to just kind of roll over for him. I mean, an issue that I always like to give an example of, by the way, is trade policy and tariffs. The Republican Party had been the party of free trade, didn't like tariffs, free market conservatives. And then Trump comes along and says, no, we're not the party of free trade anymore. We're now protectionists. We're now the party of tariffs and the party of trade restrictionism. And the entire Republican Party just kind of shrugged and said, oh, okay, I guess we're not free traders anymore. We're now the party of protectionism. I really think, though, that it's like I was saying to Jenny, if they don't this is their one opportunity to be rid of Trump, to push him overboard and sail away and not look back. And there's going to be a lot of short-term pain to doing that. But long-term, they'll be better off. Because if Trump is allowed, if this is their one chance to do it, and if they don't do it, Trump's going to be threatening to run in 2024, which effectively freezes the entire prospective field of candidates for the Republicans, because Tom Cotton wants to run. I know Rubio wants to run again. Ted Cruz wants to run again, et cetera. It's going to freeze that up.
I like to see Mitt Romney. I like to see Romney give it another go.
I don't think he will. I don't think he will, because he's damaged, because he already tried. I mean, he was the Republican nominee in 2012 and he lost. I don't think there'd be a lot of enthusiasm for him to run again. I mean, I'd like to see it too, to be honest with you, but I just don't think he will. I think he might run for re-election to the Senate when his current term is up, but I don't see him running for president again. But it's going to freeze the field.
You turn cheek on this. You take it on the chin. You turn cheek. You do what you got to do. You get your party back. Stop looking at it at the 70 million votes. That's what they're looking at. Because no matter what, regardless of this, you're not going to have this high of a vote tally on the next election. You're just not.
Right.
You're not going to do it. Because by the time the next election comes around, and that we know, you're not going to have all these mail-in ballots, because things are going to be back to normal, somewhat normal, hopefully. Mm-hmm. And the voting is not going to be where it is. And hopefully by the time that this comes back around, we'll be more united than we are right now, and things will be a little bit different. But, I think the Republicans are looking at 71 million votes is what they're looking at. And they're like, oh, Trump got us 71 million votes. But you can't look at someone who caused everything that this man has caused. Someone said to me today, I can give you 171 things on a piece of paper that Trump has done good compared to what the Democrats have done over the last 14 times that they've been in office. I said, well, where's it at? I got to go get it. You can't tell me. You can't tell me a couple of them.
Yeah,
you're going to tell me a couple of them.
Yeah.
What I mean, not going to say Trump did a couple good things for the 401k. I'm not gonna
sure,
dishonor him.
I have
like that.
I have a very long email from Mike Doyle that we might get to later if we have time with all of Trump's accomplishments, and but that's all subjective too, because the thing is when you get into that stuff, it becomes very subjective, because someone may have done a whole long list of things, but some of those things might be things you, from your perspective, don't necessarily agree with. So you get into a weird zone when people start going back and forth with well, what about all the things he did? Because then you might say, well, I don't like some of those things. Some of those things I think did more harm than good. So that stuff gets a little...
The big thing right now is that Biden's catching flack because he stopped the Keystone Pipeline, and now all these jobs are being cut. But what about all the other jobs that have been cut since the pandemic? Can we talk about that? How about all the jobs that have been cut?
Yeah.
How about I think it was 900,000 people that applied for unemployment over the last 3 weeks.
It's bad.
The last 3 weeks, the 900,000 people. That's prior to the Biden administration.
Yep.
How about the people that were before that? Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get into specifics, it's gotten worse.
Oh yeah.
But I said to you, we both agreed to this. Me, you, and Jenny both agreed that Biden was being handed a plate of crap, and it's going to take a huge amount of time to correct, because no one was letting him in to see what he was walking in on. He walked in on the 20th and had no idea. I mean, I think he had somewhat of an idea what he was walking in on, but I think now he's looking at it and he's going, wow, there is a lot here that I have to correct. Like, I think now, he's real, obviously he now sees what he's dealing with, but there was a lot more than what he expected,
Yeah.
It's just, by not doing that transition of power and not being able to get in there and see it, now he's being dealt the cards,
Yeah, that is really unforgivable to me, too, the way that Trump stonewalled on the transition. And then even when he finally said that he would allow the transition to move forward, he still found ways to stonewall in it, telling the Pentagon not to cooperate with anybody on Biden's team and whatnot. And to do that at such a precarious point, at such a moment for the United States when we're dealing with the pandemic and the economic fallout of the pandemic, and God knows what else if you start pulling up those rocks, what they're going to find. It's just so indefensible. I mean, and there's people who will defend it, obviously, but it's bad. I'm sure the Biden team expected to find a mess, but it may be worse than what they were expecting. Then again, they might have assumed the worst. I don't know. But
just alone, putting it on the website was a step in the right direction. Putting the COVID stuff on the website.
Oh, yeah.
I was hearing Fauci yesterday saying, I can't give you an answer to that until we get the science on it. You just knew when he said that answer to that, he feels comfortable, because that's what he's comfortable saying. It's just, you just know that he was not so much shunned, but he was shuddered to what he was able to say when he was under that other administration.
Oh, yeah, because he had to constantly walk that line of, he has to tell the truth, but at the same time...
He was walking on thin glass.
At the same time, he also had to try not to get fired, because he felt that, the country needed him to be there, so he didn't want to get himself fired at the expense of the country. Plus, he knew if he hung around, obviously, he was going to be continuing under the Biden administration, so... Yeah, I think I'm sure. Well, he said it. He used the word. He said he feels liberated by, being able to work for an administration that believes in science and wants him to tell the truth and not try to spin things so as to not make the president look bad and all that nonsense that he had to suffer with, that we all had to suffer with for so long.
So I pulled I'll leave you with this. I pulled a Ridley today.
Oh.
Yeah, I did. I pulled a Ridley today. I actually recorded it. It'll be on my show on the 6th. I called Senator Booker's office today, and I talked to one of his people.
Yeah.
And I asked the question. I said, "Why does he always cry?" and the guy was like, "I can't answer that for you." I said, "Well, I need an answer to that." I said, look,
Yeah.
I said, I'm a media person. I have an outlet. I said, I need to know why he's always crying.
Yeah.
So they sent me over an email with a request form to ask a question.
Really?
I'm going to fill it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to fill it out. And I'm going to ask this question. And I'm going to stay on top of it. And I'm going to try to get some type of, like, not an interview with him, because that's not going to happen, because I'm just some little guy. Who am I? But I'm going to get some type of interview or some type of email from someone to give me some answers on why it is this guy has to always do an interview and cry. I'm on this now because, like, I'm not letting go on it. And I'm going to get some answers, because it's not a real good look for a politician to constantly cry every time he does an interview.
Yeah, I guess I mean, I didn't realize he was so emotional, but I guess I haven't paid enough attention. I just remember John Boehner, when John Boehner was House Speaker. My God, that guy would just weep for any reason. Well,
Matt, do you got pulled with, since you do a political show? Can you get senators from other states to do an interview on your show?
I haven't tried. I don't go. This is something, and I think for some people, this may be a point of frustration about me, but I don't really go out of my way to interview professional politicians, even though it would probably be good for the show in terms of building credibility and whatnot. But I don't find speaking with professional politicians very interesting, because professional politicians just give you canned, pre-programmed answers to everything, and it's so hard to get anything real or anything interesting. Like, I could sit down with a senator and probably already know the approximate answers to whatever questions I'm going to ask them in an interview, and that to me is not particularly stimulating. So it's not something I go out of my way to do. Maybe I should.
Who was the guy that you had on your show that was up there? Who was that you were doing every Tuesday with? Who was that?
Congressman Chris Pappas. He's a New Hampshire guy. Actually, he's from Manchester. And
he knows Booker then, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much interaction he's had with him since, Cory Booker is a senator and Chris Pappas is a congressman. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I do have the distinction of having once, I can't ever reveal publicly who it was, but as you know, I'm a hypnotherapist, and I actually helped a certain now former senator with that individual's race for the Senate, which turned out to be successful with a hypnotherapy session, because this particular individual had a problem with public speaking, which I was able to help them with. I can't say who it was, though.
I'm just so curious to know why this guy is so emotional. What is going on? because it bothers me as a person to know that someone that emotional is running behind the scenes to help this country. It bothers me. It bothers me because it's like I get it, but like that kind of draws a couple red flags for me, because he's always crying. Like I did a little research, I did a little dummying up, and I found 13 different videos of emotions from Booker.
Yeah.
13. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, maybe he, maybe something traumatic happened to him when he was mayor of Newark. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rubbed me the wrong way. So I'm going to find out. I'm going to fill out this request form.
Okay.
Get it on my show, and then when I dummy it up, if I find some stuff, I'll send you over the clip.
All right. That sounds great. Keep us posted.
So, and then maybe we'll have an Eazy-G clip.
All right. Oh, yes. Maybe we could arrange a cry-off. We'll see who...
Yeah, you shout out to Eazy-G. I'll be donating next week to him.
Oh, fantastic. Wonderful. That's great.
I'll be donating like $50 to help the fund. Very
nice. Yes, and that goes to the Relay for Life, and I think that's wonderful. Good for you, Tony. And before you go, by the way, give the Tony D Show a plug. I know you're coming back soon.
Yeah, February 6th, we'll be back. We will be on the IPM Nation. We'll be on the Raw Talk Online. We will be on the Spotify, iTunes. It's going to be a great show. A lot of good things lined up for the new season coming back. The boys are real geared up. If you like that Raw Talk Online, you like interviews with porn stars, movie stars, music guests, underground music artists, and stuff like that, it's the show for you. Very different than a lot of podcasts that are out there. So you can visit TonyDShow.com for everything.
Very good. Very good. We're excited for that. And Tony, thank you so much for the call, my friend. Always nice to hear from you. All right, man. Bye-bye. All right, Tony D from the Tony D Show calling us from Philly. All right, very good. Well, that does open up a line for you. Busy show today so far. 603-250-6007. 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or email me matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can also go to mattconnerton.com and click Listen Live, and all the contact info is there for you, including a contact form, a simple contact form if you want to just message me directly during the show. Perhaps you're a former president of the United States and you've been kicked off all the social media platforms and you just want to send me a direct message. You can do that too, right at mattconnerton.com. So there you go. All kinds of, and there's, of course, a comment section there too. Again, you don't need to be on social media to utilize the comment section. Let's see. And by the way, too, I want to remind you, if you are thinking of calling, don't wait until the last minute. It is Friday, which means coming up at 6 p.m. immediately following this program is Granite State of Mind, hosted by the great Rob Azevedo, or Rob Esposito, as I think Stacie Laughton pronounced it when she called, and somebody in the chat room caught that too. That will be coming up at 6 p.m. And, of course, Rob, he's... I think he's going to have a guest or two. So, we got to close down early so I can wipe everything down, clean everything up, make it shine, make it sparkle, and get rid of all the germs because we are in the COVID era. So I need a little extra time between shows for that. So don't wait until the last minute to call us. 603-250-6007. And also tonight at 8 p.m., Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C from 8 to 10 p.m. And, of course, I have the honor and privilege of being Paul's co-host on that show, along with our great friend Dan Randlett. So that will be tonight from 8 to 10 right here from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM. Let's see. I think we should take a moment and say hello to everybody in the Facebook Live chat. It is a very, very busy chat room today, which I love to see. Let's see. Tom Gully from the Tom Gully Show is in the chat room. We were talking about opening cans of worms and spitting bees earlier with Stacie. Tom says, I don't open cans of worms because it enrages the bees. I think that's very wise. Let's see. Jenny is in the chat room. Jenny says, Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Can't we all just get along, to quote the great Rodney King? I'll just, there's a lot of talk about unity these days, so we'll throw that in there as well. Tom Blanchard is in the Facebook Live chat. Tom says, regarding the Stacie Laughton scandal, how did these pics get taken in the first place? Well, yes, you have to be very careful in the era in which we live with all this technology. Be very, very careful about taking pictures. I don't have to worry about that. I promise you, if you ever get anything from me, it's been photoshopped. There are no such pictures of me. I promise. Tom Gully says, now at long last, I know who sent me the pictures of the bees. Oh my goodness. Well, we have to do something about the bees, right? We got to make sure, I don't mean kill them, by the way, or to punish them, but we need bees. I know at one point the bees were dying. I think they've had a resurgence, but it's very important. If the bees die, we need the bees to pollinate the flowers and the plants and things. And, I'm just saying, respect the bees. If the bees die, we die, if I could be very blunt. Tony D is in the Facebook Live chat. Tony says, look, I'll even rock a fanny pack and an Amish hat, $3 with the Groupon code Tony D. Very nice. Well, we'll all give that all the consideration it deserves, of course. Bobby Champagne is in the Facebook Live chat. Bobby says, I'm going to pull her hair out. I believe referring to Stacie Laughton. My goodness, no hair pulling. We don't allow that kind of thing. Not during the COVID era, of course, because you should not be getting close enough to a person to pull their hair. Although I suppose if you're masked, that is fine. And there's other scenarios too, but that would be more for the other show. Let's see. Abigail Jem says, referring again to Stacie's call earlier, so Rob's in and I'm out. I like it. Referring to Stacie's mentioning of Rob Dion, who is, of course, part of the WMNH family. Rob, host of Through the Stage Door here on WMNH, as well as the entertainment reporter on the morning show on Thursday mornings. Bobby says, I can't seem to be able to be reblocked. Let's see. Scott Robinson joins us in the Facebook live chat. Scott says, with all her shouting out, I'm surprised she can still talk. I believe referring to Stacie. Let's see. Abigail says, please don't mention my name anymore, Stacie. Grow up. Tom Blanchard says, and I thought Eazy said too much information. Tom Gully says, I'm working my way up to a legitimate scandal by being part of an imbroglio. Well, very nice. Yes, there you go. I'm never sure if I'm pronouncing that word correctly. Imbroglio or imbroglio? Is the G silent? It is a great word. Abigail says, I miss Stacie Wilcox. Well, I do too, but Stacie Wilcox is banned from the station here. Now, Stacie Wilcox may make an appearance in another incarnation of the program, because we may in 2021 start doing occasional online-only editions of Unleashed later in the evening that act as sort of an after show for the FM version, weekdays 4 to 6 p.m. And we could have Stacie on the other iteration of the program that is online only. But, Stacie likes to work a little blue, and that is verboten. That is frowned upon in this establishment. Melanie Fedderson is in the Facebook live chat. Melanie says, seriously, are the calls required to go in the same order each day? I hadn't noticed that. Melanie. That's an interesting observation. Let's see here. Miriam Banish, who is a top fan, is in the Facebook live chat. Miriam says, I think the thing to do is to stop mentioning the drama. Both sides should just not bring up each other's names at all. Stop responding, all sides. Miriam, you might be onto something there. Stacie is in the Facebook live chat. Hello. Abigail says, was barely on the show yesterday and my name was invoked. What's the deal with that? I've made my request. She can leave me out of her drama, and she was blocked by me days ago, so I've done all I can to drop it. And Miriam says, Stacie should stop reading in the Facebook room, and people who are bothered by Stacie should stop responding. The more you say, the longer it will go on. Now, referring to the discussion we were having with Tony D, about what are the Republicans going to do during the impeachment trial? And I've said what I think they should do. I think they should vote to convict, and then in a separate vote, which, because it has to be separate, in a second vote, they can actually then vote. They can say, well, we voted to convict, so now we're going to vote to bar Trump from ever running for public office again, which they can do. And if they do that, then they will have effectively thrown Trump overboard and sailed away. Sail on! That's a great... is that Lionel Richie? Is that from his solo career, or is that with the Commodores? I forget. It's a great song. Sail on! Anyway, they can do that. There's going to be a lot of short-term pain doing that, but in the long run, they'll be better off. They'll be better for it. But Tom Gully says, usually all you have to do to reclaim your party is to move the keg from the living room into the backyard. Well, that is, now, that isn't exactly what we were talking about, Tom. However, that is great advice, Because, as George Carlin used to say, some people need practical advice. So if you do need to reclaim the type of party Tom is referring to, that is a way to do that. Wayne Noel, who is a top fan all the way from Michigan. Wayne says, the problem is that if they do, the party is going to shrink, just saying. Well, that will be fascinating to see. That's one of the things that is so interesting about this. If they do vote to convict Trump and then vote to throw him overboard, I'm sorry I keep repeating that, but for some reason I love the visual that I have in my head that comes with the metaphor. I just imagine... here's what I see in my mind. I imagine Trump is standing on a cruise ship and he's just kind of looking out at the ocean, and then Mitch McConnell just kind of sneaks up behind him and just gives him a little shove, and then Trump falls over the edge of the ship and into the water. And then Ted Cruz attempts to throw Trump a what do you call it? A life preserver, and then and then Lindsey Graham has to grab Mitch McConnell and pull him back so that Cruz can. I'm going on with it too far, but you understand the point. I like these visuals in my mind. Really, just the part where Trump plunges into the water. What happens after that really doesn't matter to me. But the point is, what happens then if they do that? See, the argument that I've been making all week is the reason they need to do this is because if they don't do it, they're going to spend years, perhaps decades, regretting that they didn't do this, right? Because Trump is going to continue to hang over everything. Trump effectively feels Trump effectively freezes the 2024 field, the Republican field of prospective candidates for president, for the Republican nomination for president, right? Because he'll be hinting around. He won't announce. He'll prolong it. And maybe he'll never announce. Maybe he won't actually run again, but he'll leave it hanging out there. And that will be torturous for the Republican Party because they have other people who would like to run for president. So this is their one opportunity. That's the point that I've been trying to make, is this is their one opportunity to put him in the rearview mirror. We'll try a different metaphor. This is their one opportunity to violently shove him out of the car and onto the road as the car is traveling at a very high rate of speed. So he'll probably get some road burn or road rash. And, as he's falling out of the car that's been traveling at about 120 miles per hour. And then, again, I'm getting caught up in the visual that I'm seeing in my mind as I explain the metaphor. Anyway, and then they drive off and forget about him. And the 18-wheeler that was just one car length behind that then runs over. No, that's too violent. I'm sorry. But anyway, it's their one shot to do that. And the short-term pain will be this. Well, part of the short-term pain is they're going to have death threats, right? Everyone who votes to convict and then votes to bar him from running again, they're going to get death threats. They're going to get potentially primaried, those who are up for re-election in 2022, right? There's going to be a lot of short-term pain. We cannot exaggerate that. I mean, it's going to be a lot. But in the long term, they'll be better off. But Wayne might be right. Maybe a lot of people will defect from the Republican Party. Maybe they'll form another party. I tend to not think so, though. Here's what I think will happen. There will be short-term pain, but then people will forget. People, I think, in the macro sense, have reasonably short memories when it comes to this kind of stuff. Now, the MAGA cult might be a little different because these people are so fanatical about their hero, their savior, Donald John Trump, on a level that we've not seen in our lifetimes. I mean, I always say Ronald Reagan would be envious. But I think the Republican Party will take a hit, but I don't think it will last that long because most people most people are not as invested in all of this as those of us who are political junkies who really follow this as closely. Most Americans are too distracted with, their lives. People are busy. People are working or trying to figure out where to find work. Or, people are pretty wrapped up in just trying to survive. So maybe by 2022, by the midterms, Trump is already forgotten about. Who knows? We'll see. It'll be very, very interesting. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Matt Connarton Unleashed. I've been hoping to call you for a protracted period of time, and I'm so happy I finally made it through.
Well, hello. This is
hello.
For those who don't know, this is my father on the phone. Yes. Hello, Dad.
Hi, and I want you to be respectful to me, Matt. No, I'm just kidding. I know you are already. Is it true that they still call the city of Manchester the city of dreams? Is that what's going on over there?
Yes. We all call it the city of dreams.
Well, by gosh, I don't get that Manch Vegas stuff, but don't go into that. I just, I get it, but I don't get it. Well, I just heard a little bit of what you were saying, and I agree with you that partly in the sense to the degree that, we're all, like the working people in America are just struggling to survive and plan ahead when we can and pay the bills on time, stay healthy through 19, through the epidemic or pandemic, I should say. So it's hard to, for me, I'm a little bit older than you, Matt, if you know that, you remember that.
Right.
So for me, when I look back on history, and, I love history and, it's complex, but we can learn from history. I do believe that, and we can learn from our mistakes. Not to get too abstract, but George Santayana, the great philosopher, Western philosopher, said one of his famous statements. Everybody knows, I think, in the culture now, but it's good to reiterate it and reinforce it. Is that if we don't pay attention to history and learn from our mistakes, we're doomed to repeat them again. And that's a whole other topic that I see potentially in the political realm with both the left and what I call neocons on the right. But that's not. I don't want to go into that today. That's not the topic. But what I am concerned with is not the election problems, although hopefully historians will look at that carefully and more objectively in the future, although I don't have a lot of confidence in that right now. But I wanted to share, speaking of the economy, with all these executive orders, and all presidents use them, but the order that came through yesterday, I just want to mention that and one other thing, and then I'll open it up, Maddie. President Biden, I have a hard time saying that, but I'll get it out.
Yeah.
Biden canceled unilaterally and categorically for now, it can be revisited if Congress wants to take it up, if they have the courage and wisdom to do it, which I doubt. But notwithstanding all that, he canceled the XL pipeline, Keystone XL pipeline.
Yeah.
Gone, Matt. One fell swoop. And I looked it up. I did some research on it, and that means that at least 11,000 jobs automatically decimated, eradicated, gone. And what's interesting is, so we'll see if the lamestream media is going to pick up on any of this. And I don't have much trust in Fox anymore either. But hopefully some journalists will pick up on this, or historians, or good philosophers. Of that 11,000, 8,000 of those workers are, can I say it, union workers, Matt. They represent very strong unions.
Yeah.
And the money I wrote, I couldn't believe it, because I'm a social worker. I never have much money. You know what I mean? So it's hard for me to relate to all this. But it was billions of dollars. No, let me get it right. So far, $1.6 billion earning power, money in the bank, potential earning power in the future, all gone,
Yeah.
And yet, so here's the thing. Your grandfather, and some birds going over here, your grandfather, my dad, who was a Democrat, And I used to be 100 years ago a Democrat.
Well, I remember.
That's long gone. But I'm not happy with the Republicans either. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
So, Dad would stand up. He always stood up for the unions, and there was a great tradition of that for a while with JFK and Adlai Stevenson, Harry Truman, FDR. There was a good tradition with that, and the Democrats would represent that. They clearly don't anymore. I could go on and on and on, but I think that they've become a very dark party. I know that's debatable, and people want to engage in dialogue. We don't have time for that. But the other thing is this, Matt. So that's one issue. The other something to think about. The other thing is just quickly. I try to be terse with this. They have now, of course, predictably in the House, given what happened on the 6th. They have this, what I call a snap impeachment.
Yes.
Now traditionally and lawfully and constitutionally and practically, philosophically, you're supposed to have hearings before you vote on impeachment. You're supposed to review what's going on, hear from both sides, cull through the evidence, or imagine that even, but cull through the information to see if there is objective evidence for what you're trying to say and do and act upon. And there was none of that done. And yet you've got Schumer and Pelosi saying, awful things about the president. But I don't know if you guys have seen the speech. I pulled the speech up online, and there is and I will say this before our Lord, if the Lord was to call me tonight, I hope he's not going to, but you never know. But there is nothing in that speech that incites anyone to violence, let alone insurrection. And of course, now subsequently, there's more information coming out as the FBI, and not that I always trust them, but they're doing investigations in the Justice Department that are strongly indicating that or displaying that there was a small group, not necessarily Antifa people. There's stories that and some Antifa were there, and I think that's been proven. But there were other people who were plotting to do this. Under 1% of the thousands of people who were there that day who were peaceful. And so here's my point. McConnell, these people like McConnell, now I'm going to get on the Republicans. McConnell, online they call him Cocaine McConnell. I don't know that. I don't know why.
Cocaine Mitch.
You know what?
Cocaine Mitch, because there's that guy. Oh, I can picture him, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
There was that conservative but really fringy guy who I don't remember why he even picked a fight with McConnell, because he wasn't running against McConnell, but he insisted he insisted on referring to Cocaine Mitch and his China family taking a shot at he took a shot at Elaine Chao in the same ad.
I know. That's pretty low.
I can't remember his name, but you know who I'm talking about. But that's where that came from. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Matt. I was wondering where in the world are they getting that? Because he wouldn't even talk about the issue of drugs in America. Or
I can't. Think. Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like he's not going to go there. He is, to his credit, he's politically very savvy usually. So, but it is kind of funny to hear that though. Cocaine Mitch, yeah,
yeah,
and or Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney, I can't even look at her or consider her. I mean, I won't go into it because we don't have time and stuff, but her father was one of the most controversial people ever to have power in America. How do you say that?
Yeah, I'm no fan of
not a fan
I'm
of
no
Dick
fan of
Cheney
him. No.
at all, and for some good reasons I won't go into all of that, But so here's the thing. I'll shut up on this note, and we can throw it out. But throw it out to people, not throw it out.
Right.
But so in this context of the corrupt, snap, unconstitutional impeachment. By the way, just parenthetically, people like Alan Dershowitz, a very liberal Democrat, but a good scholar. I was angry with him over the O.J. Simpson thing, but I got to let it go. But he's written a column on this. Greg Jarrett, another very good scholar, has written a column on this. That one, there's nothing there that if you're going to be by law incite. Not that I'm an expert on this, but by law, if you're going to be inciting or held accountable for that, and they're going to ascribe that to you, it has to be very specific and immediate. And you have to say, "Get the guns out, baby, let's go now," kind of thing. But anyway, here's my point, though. If these Republicans do not stand up and say how bad this is, and at least, here's what I'm looking for, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
They have the ability, McConnell and the Republicans have the ability to put a motion in force that is a dismissal motion, saying this is. They should have done it with the other false impeachment. That was makes me mad. I won't go into it. But anyway, they could do that. They have the right and the constitutional authority and not responsibility, but the ability to do that. If I don't hear that coming from cocaine Mitch, I got to stop saying that. I shouldn't say. But if and these guys like Romney and Sass, some of these other guys, Murkowski, if they start to just buy into this baloney, then I will have nothing to do with them, because I get these these emails now. I used to get them from the Trump campaign, but now I get them from the Republican Party wanting me to send money for these abstract this and that. So I sent Ronna McDaniel. Ronna McDaniel's. She's the chairman of the RNC.
Yes.
And I think a good person, and she's bright and sensitive. Better than some they've had in the past. But do you know who her uncle is?
No.
Very famous guy. Oh, you got to know. Her uncle happens to be someone I used to support. I was fooled by him completely. I admit it. I acknowledge it. But
no, wait.
Mitt Romney is her uncle. Can you believe it?
Okay.
It's true.
That I did not realize. So, okay. Huh.
Yeah. She's taken some heat from that too, from people. That's I think a little over the top. She's pointed out that she's disagreed with him overtly and more than once. But I'm telling you, if they don't stand up and support the president, who has supported them and stood by them, drawing 50,000 people, whether you agree with them or not, for their rallies, I'm completely done with them. I'd like to see a third party, Matt. I think you talked to me about that.
I don't think
necessarily be the Libertarian Party, but I don't think at this point, maybe because of my age and I've been around too long with this, I don't think that's practical, and it would really split the Republican Party. But if they can't stand up for values, to heck with them, So I'll shut up on that note, but just some interesting things to look at. But I agree with what I heard when I was coming in. This is the thing that bugs me about both parties. I don't think they care a damn about us working people, Matt.
Well, no.
Whether we're in social work or we're electricians or we're laborers, they don't care about us,
Well, it's like I always say. I mean, I'm sure you've heard me say it. They don't really work for us. They work for the donors, the special interests, the lobbyists, et cetera.
That's right.
I mean, that's who.
That's absolutely correct,
that's
Matt. That's a great, sad, provocative, but true insight.
Yeah.
And more we're going to see. I think the left is being swallowed up more and more by these global elites. And I won't mention names, George Soros, or I won't mention names. But and that's what I worry about too, is this undermining of American sovereignty. And we've got our problems. We got to keep working on this, and that's one of them. That these guys don't represent us anymore. I think some of them once did, and I think there are some still who do. I'm not that cynical, but again, the process I see now is moving to this new global order with these elites and new world government and socialism and Marxism, communism. I don't, it doesn't look good to me. I'm ready to fight I don't mean that, with weapons and stuff.
Yeah, you definitely want to, especially these days, you want to be very clear about what you mean when you say that publicly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Google and the companies will be all over me. I swear.
Be very careful.
A couple of times when I've been on sites, either Christian sites, Right to Life. There'd be Right to Life. That would be the thing that would be in there. I won't go into some of them I see, but I try to support financially a little bit. I don't have a lot of money to support, but like I'd get kicked off the site, Matt. You know what I mean? It's very strange, and I know I can sound paranoid and I don't mean to be narcissistic, but well, yeah, cause it only happened to you, but I think that this is the thing, the surveillance state I call it coming, Matt. Big tech. What they're doing now is like outrageous. I mean, I like to say, okay, Google as much as anybody, but, the censorship, not just of Trump, but of people who have conservative thinking and Christian values, and that's not to demean any faith. I love all faith communities. But the attack on the Christian community, because issues around the right to life, which is by now should be not so controversial. That's a baby. I mean, that's a child. That's not a tumor. It's not a plant, guys. Come on. So anyway, that's a whole other topic. We'll go into that, but you know where I stand on that.
Mm-hmm.
I always has to. And I say with compassion as a clinical social. I know people feel the stress. They feel alone. They panic. I get it. Don't get me wrong. But if we can help them avoid that and be on the side of life every time, that's where we want to be. That's where I want to be. But I think that's where good people, and I say good people, I mean people who can think and feel with their heart and have a conscience. That's where they'll be. But yeah, I think these guys in Congress now, Matt. I remember in 1918. I remember 1918. No, I remember in 2018 in March when they passed a horrific bill. It was just like over the top. Now, the recent bill too that when they give us, we'll give you $600. Oh, wow, why? Why bother? They're sending all this money to Pakistan and Bengal, Nigeria. I mean, it's like, yeah, okay, we can help people overseas. I'm not.
Well, Trump was
in any way against that, but hey, how about us?
Well, I mean, that was one thing I did agree with Trump on. It should have been 2000, but
I agree.
But it would have been nice if he'd said something way, way, way sooner. You know what I mean? A little late.
I think you're right on that, Matt. But you got to remember that if he had done that, McConnell and those guys would have criticized him too. But I hear what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure in hindsight that would have been more prudent. I would agree with you.
Yeah.
But you got to give him credit for sticking in there, and that's the one thing that for a moment, like even he and AOC agreed upon.
Well, yeah.
And people like us agreed upon. There's a woman scholar, an African American scholar, who's a Republican in Maryland. I'm going to forget her name now. She's young and strong, brilliant, and beautiful. I mean, she's just stunning. And she was interviewed. Where did I see her interview? I think I saw her interviewed on Fox News, and she pointed this out. She said, "Listen, that money is our money."
Mm-hmm.
And we need help right now.
Right. Right.
And it was cocaine McConnell. I got to stop doing that. Forgive me.
Nice. It's cocaine.
Senator
Mitch.
McConnell who said. No, it's like Matt. He gave the finger to us. He not only said no, and I looked it up. That's the first time I done. I looked it up. That guy is worth $25.8 million.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How the hell did that happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep. He's one of the richest
it's
senators.
Hypocrisy everywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's one of the richest senators. I mean, Mitt Romney might be Mitt Romney probably is the wealthiest, but McConnell's got to be in the top 5.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He might be the second.
So he can just. Yeah. It's. They go to Washington. They have these inflated salaries, and who was it? Who was I listening to? I think it was Sean Hannity. I don't listen to him much, but I think he made a good point when he said, because I'd just been talking to a colleague about this, and we both agreed. These guys go to Washington and they start to get money, and these lobbyists throw down the money like crazy. You know, nobody's getting that in the newsprint or in the media, but they're making all this money on the side.
Oh yeah,
and they become so enamored of that in themselves. They don't think about us.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean? And that's awful. That's not what Jefferson and Washington and Adams, et cetera, were talking about. That was not the way they saw it at all.
Yeah,
you know? It's so out of hand. It's absurd. And more and more, as I say, I think they're going to push a surveillance state on us now, and so. It's like I laugh, but it's serious too, you know. And I'll stop on this note. I don't want to other people won't get online here, but when AOC and Pelosi they talk about reprogramming us Trump supporters, you know, sending us to education camps and stuff, you know.
Well, did somebody actually say that though? I heard something about this, but did somebody actually say that, or was that somebody claiming that somebody said that?
No. I heard. I can't remember exactly how she put it, but it's pretty. AOC said it in stark terms, and Nancy Pelosi said something that might have been a little more oblique, but she said, what did she say? She let out with. She said two things right away. She said, President Trump is not just was, but is a stain on the country, and she said the $75 million. I believe he received more than $75 million. Biden didn't receive legitimately $80 million. That's complete baloney. That's another story. But she put us down. She put Trump supporters down as though we were ignorant fools. She said something like that. She didn't say fools, but she said we were ignorant.
Okay.
Oh, Nancy, you know, you and your ice cream. That's all I'll say. She's one of the worst leaders in American history.
Well,
I can't help it.
She's one of the wealthiest too. She's one of. I know she's
absolutely.
She's one of the wealthiest in the House. Yeah.
Oh, she is. Yeah. She's garrisoned there in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And the San Francisco, you know, I always want to go there, Matt. I've never been able to go there. I was in Seattle briefly when I was in the Navy 100 years ago, but we didn't have time to get down to California. But in those days, I was so impressed with Seattle. It was a beautiful city, you know. It reminded me of Boston with a different flavor, more Western, wild Western kind of flavor. But San Francisco was a beautiful city then, you know. California was a beautiful state.
Yeah.
And now, you know, they just have run that into the ground, and it gets worse and worse with Gavin, who I think is her nephew. It's just pathetic, you know.
Wait,
so many
Gavin Newsom is Pelosi's nephew?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure he is a nephew of Nancy Pelosi's family, yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
He's in the family.
Oh,
you know.
I'll be damned.
Of course, her father was a big politician in Maryland many, many years ago. I didn't really know him. He was a Democrat, but I think he was a moderate Democrat. Of course, all Democrats, it depends on where you look in history. I mean, if you go back to where my dad was, from FDR. Now, FDR did do some radical things, but he was also very bright and a great president. But you look, I mean, like JFK, Bobby Kennedy. Ted is a little different story, but JFK and Bobby Kennedy, if they were here today, Eugene McCarthy from Wisconsin, another Democrat I respected a lot, they wouldn't go along with this baloney, you know, and this crazy impeachment. And you know, there are documents that some came out today. I haven't had a chance to look at them from that the president dumped out against the wishes, of course, of the FBI, that show all kinds of problems with the FBI abusing their power. And so again, there's a lot to look at these days, and they know, CNN knows, all these they're taking the money, Matty, and running and laughing at us, And so the hope is that we can still hold on to our sovereignty, our constitutional values, the rule of law, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of the press, and work toward some of the things that President Trump, even in his boorish way, sometimes I know, was successful at implementing. But right now, it looks pretty scary to me. It looks like they're going to run the country into the ground in a year, economically alone, let alone morally. I mean, you know how I feel about this, and I got to shut up. I know. I apologize. But most Americans would say today, for example, on either side of the aisle or in the middle, that the Holocaust in Nazi Germany was evil, intrinsically evil and terrible. And your grandfather made the Normandy landing through the grace of God. He survived it. And he went into those camps. And I've seen pictures of all of that.
Yeah.
So Americans liberated them, and thank God for that. But here's the irony, man. If I were to say someone, not you on the radio, but someone in the general public, or a social worker that I supervise something, one of the millennials, or at least younger social workers, is there a Holocaust going on in America that people are ignoring? Not all people are ignoring. And I would say absolutely yes, and the left supports it. And that's the killing of innocent life in the womb. And I had an exchange with a great preacher, back in the summer, an African-American preacher I was introduced to. And he said, he told me, he calls me Martin. He got me interested. There's a Frederick Douglass Foundation that I joined, and that's fundamentally African American, but they take anybody in. It's a matter of values, and so he said, Martin. He calls me Martin. He said, Martin. He said, when we talk about violence in America, we want to address that. With any police abuse, of course, I'll address that. But he said, the problem is the staggering problem for us is African American babies aborted in the womb, and the numbers are staggering, man. And the heartbreaking experiences are just so poignant, so heartbreaking. And I said to him, too, in this context, we said a lot of things that day, but I said, I say all. When I start out, people say, well, what about Black Lives Matter? I'm talking about Black Lives Matter, Inc., the organization. They're horrible in my judgment, but they're not even democratic. But my point is that say all. No, he said, are you going to say all lives matter? I said, no. I said, they do. I said, I would say that. But here's what I say to people from the heart, as well as from, obviously, my mind and soul and spirit. All Black lives matter to me, including those bambinos in the mom's womb where they should be protected. And I mean that, and you know me, you know that, and I fought against racism all my life. And we've made great progress.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe that from the left press, but we have. We made substantial and sustained great progress, thank God. So I'll end on that note. Glad the program is going so well.
Yes.
It's a great service you're doing.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that you can entertain these ideas and have people come on and have a debate. Do you find it goes more to the left or to the right now, or is it pretty much an even mixed bag?
It's hard to know. I mean, I think the chat room, the Facebook Live chat room, just going by that, I think definitely tilts left. I'm not a big Trump guy, so I've chased a lot of people away.
I know.
But but as for the thousands of folks listening in their in their cars, I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Yeah,
that's it. It's hard, isn't it? Yeah, it's hard to know, really.
Yeah.
It's we certainly are a divided nation right now. That's for sure.
Absolutely, more than ever. So, all right, Dad. Well,
more than ever.
We do have to go.
Yeah,
but thank you so much for the call.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for all you do, Matt, and all your your team and colleagues over there in Manchester. We appreciate it.
The city
God
of
bless
dreams.
you. I love you. Take care.
All right, you too. Bye-bye. All right, there we go. Well, that's, wow, we don't often get a call from my dad, but that is, Tom Blanchard says in the Facebook live chat, Matt, your dad is the man. I thought you might like a lot of what Dad had to say. He's obviously much more conservative than myself. He wasn't when I was growing up. He was a Democrat. And then something started to change. Although he was always very pro-life on the abortion issue. He was always conservative on that. But just for the hell of it, because I looked it up. So Dan Blankenship was the guy who, and again, I don't remember what his reason was, but I have the ad here. I don't remember what his reason was exactly for attacking Mitch McConnell and Elaine Chao in this weird campaign ad, but because he wasn't running against them, but for some reason, this is the ad that, for anyone who hasn't heard it, it's one of the strangest campaign ads. This guy, Dan Blankenship, was, he had spent time in prison. I guess he had owned a coal mine at one point, or a group of coal mines, and there was an accident that killed several coal miners, and he was convicted for negligence. Quite an interesting character, but here's the ad.
Hi, I'm Don Blankenship, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Swamp Captain Mitch McConnell has created millions of jobs for China people. While doing so, Mitch has gotten rich. In fact, his China family has given him tens of millions of dollars. Mitch's swamp people are now running false negative ads against me. They are also childishly calling me despicable and mentally ill. The war to drain the swamp and create jobs for West Virginia people has begun. I will beat Joe Manchin and ditch Cocaine Mitch for the sake of the kids.
That's right. That's what it was. So he was running against Joe Manchin in West Virginia, right? Joe Manchin, probably the most. He's going to be very interesting to watch in this new term that we're in, because Joe Manchin, I would say, probably the most conservative Democrat in the Senate. Very conservative on Second Amendment issues, gun rights. He probably, in the Northeast, he would probably be a Republican. But anyway, yeah. So he was running against Joe Manchin, but then he says something about jobs for China people, and I'm going to ditch Cocaine Mitch, and just very, very weird guy. And if you've never actually watched the ad, I would encourage you to go on YouTube and look it up. It's Dan Blankenship, because he's got this look on his face like he's, it feels like you're watching an SNL sketch, but it's an actual campaign ad. Very weird. Well, what I'm going to do is, because we're actually almost out of time, because on Fridays we do have to wrap up a bit early, because Rob Azevedo will be in with a guest for Granite State of Mind. So again, because it is the COVID era, we need a little extra time to clean up and wipe down and so on and so forth. So we will take a very short break, and then we'll come back and kind of wrap up. We'll wrap up for the week in a moment. But as promised, because we did get a request, we'll play this, and then we'll show some love to our sponsors quickly. But the number one song in the nation on Billboard. Well, not quite, but here it is, by request. This was a legitimate request earlier in the show. Eggman from TJ Midas. Here it is.
Oh, guys.
Terror has a new name. Eggman.
There's no such thing.
Let's take this call, just because they keep calling. so good morning.
Oh, guys. Oh, guys. Oh, guys.
Hi, Eric.
Hey, it's 10 hours to the pace, and I still don't have my ticket for Ronda.
You know what? I'm really not in the mood for that today, Eric, so I'm going to tell you what. You already have a ticket, so I'm sorry I didn't get the ticket. If I get another one, come see me tonight. But, you already have you already have a ticket. There's other people out there like Terry Traynor that doesn't have a ticket.
I don't have a ticket.
No, I didn't say. I said I would try. I said
egg on my face.
I'm going to tell you. You don't have egg on your face. I'm going to tell you what. You should be grateful that you have one ticket. All right, kid? You understand me?
Just want her to.
You're calling for free stuff. We take care of you all the time. I tried to get the ticket. I couldn't do it. I've been very busy. So don't worry about you having egg on your face, Eric. That's being a little selfish. You hear what I'm saying, man? You hear what I'm saying? See you tonight at the Taste of Downtown, my friend. Wow. Whoa. You know what? The guy calls up for free stuff. You know, we take care of him. We take care of him.
Does he have a ticket?
He already has a ticket.
I don't have a ticket.
He wants a ticket for someone that may go with him. And I told him I would try to get him a ticket. And now he's upset. He says he has egg on his face.